You're seeing the score being the electoral votes constantly. I've seen 254 to like 200 and something, low 200s, in favor of Biden. North Carolina is 99% counted. Trump's in the lead. Trump was in the lead when they stopped counting. A lower court in Pennsylvania made a ruling that some Republicans could watch the count, and then immediately the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania said they couldn't watch the count. What are they trying to hide? Wisconsin, 65,000 votes showed up. 100% were for Biden. Michigan, 138,000 votes showed up. 100% of them were for Biden. Trump was leading in those two states. So when they stopped counting on election night, what do you think they were doing? For those of you that think outside the box, they were tabulating, they were calculating, they were seeing how many votes do we need to make it close. Now you're seeing in districts in Pennsylvania, the voter turnout was 200%. They've got more people that voted than there are voters. If this were reversed and Trump received 65,000 votes and then 138,000 votes at 4 a.m. and immediately he was either close or on top of Biden, what do you think the left would be saying? What's being played on you right now is a PsyOp. Americans aren't really good at it when we receive it, but we've sure been good at it all over the world. That's what regime change is. That's why we have so many problems today, because we have been regime changing all over the world for decades. Well, now those tools are being used on us. And I know it sounds far-fetched, it sounds way out there, but it's not. Here's how it's working. The states that Trump was clearly winning, which was Georgia and North Carolina, could have been called on election night. The number of votes left to count would never have caught Biden up. So you look at a state like Florida, big, huge, massive Florida. We had the results that night. So now they're saying, well, there's like 1 or 2% left to count, but we're not going to be able to get to it till next week. I think North Carolina said, yeah, we're not going to have results till next week. North Carolina is 99% counted, but it's going to take them over a week to give us the result. If you don't see what's happening, I don't know what to tell you. And the only people that don't see what's happening are the people that don't like Trump. Orange man, bad. Get him out of there, even if it means cheating. We've been manipulated for so long, there's no telling how many elections that we've lost because we've just been pushed to the point of, we're resigned to it, we lost, or they cheated. And again, that confuses me, because if you really think they cheated, especially service members, if you think that vote was cheated and you're not out in the streets, whether you're for Biden or for Trump, or at least making a video, showing your ugly mug like I'm doing, and making a video and at least trying to get the word out there and raise awareness. Because the vote, I'm speaking to Trump supporters, you won. Trump won the election. Now you're seeing a very complex operation with the media and the Democrat Party trying to convince the nation that Biden won. They're keeping it close. Why wouldn't they want to call those states that Trump clearly won, Georgia and North Carolina? Because it would give the appearance of Biden's probably going to lose. They're keeping it open just long enough to convince you, the people that voted for Trump, that Trump lost. It is a PsyOp. This is what we've been doing to other countries. We're being manipulated. And it's not a left versus right thing, because the silence of the Republicans who won right now is deafening. Trump is a bull, and the Republican Party and the Democrat Party are nice little pieces of china in a very small cabinet. So what do? You look at all the facts. Stop listening to your friends who say, you're a sore loser. They're trying to get you to conform. There was an experiment run back in the, actually, I don't know when it was. I think it was the 60s, but one was called the Milgram experiment. And basically they tested how people react to authority. And this was in response, obviously, to the Nazis and what they were able to do during World War II. I mean, how do you convince a people to murder 6.5 million of their own people. So the Milgram experiment was dealing with authority. And there was another one called, they did an experiment on mob rule or herd mentality. So the way they did it is the target, I guess you would call him, would get on the elevator, right? And then 3 or 4 more people would get on the elevator that were part of the experiment, and they would turn around and face the back of the elevator. And you can see the guy, the target, is slowly wanting to turn around because everybody around him is doing that. So he's thinking, well, maybe, am I supposed to be turning around too? Makes no sense. But 2/3 or more actually went along with the group. There was another experiment that they did. This is a candid camera, but a lady was in a doctor's office and they had a whole bunch of people come in and they were all sitting down. When they heard the bell ring, everybody would stand up. The lady, she didn't know what was going on. So after a couple of times, she started standing up too when the bell rang. So every time the bell would ring, they started calling the people out to go to their appointment, and they continued the bell ringing. She was the only one left, and the bell rang. What do you think happened? She stood up. There was no rhyme or reason to it. Another guy comes in. She does the same thing. The guy says, "Why are you standing up?" She says, "Everybody else was doing it. I think we're supposed to." That's you right now. You're the lady sitting in that chair in that doctor's office. You're the guy that gets in the elevator and the media is facing backwards. The Democrats are facing backwards. The people that are just indifferent, which I can't stand, the pragmatists and the indifferent ones, those are the people that are looking at the back of that elevator. You get in and you're looking at the front where the door is. That's where you're going to get out. Well, you're doing it wrong, right? Oh, you're not doing it wrong. Keep looking at the door. Don't turn around and look at the back of the elevator. Stop watching the news. They're programming you. Look at the facts. I get it. I got to go to work too. We've got to go to work. We got to provide for our families. We got to pay our bills. There are things that we have to do. It was set up this way in order to accomplish what they've been able to accomplish for decades, which is keep you busy, keep you in debt, keep you distracted with your games. Now you see what's happening with this vote count. Who stops counting on election night? The losers, because they need to know how many votes do we need to come up with in order to make this close. But I think there's a little bit of hope to this. This is going to go to the Supreme Court. You're going to have a lot of stuff come out that should be irrefutable. The Department of Homeland Security was responsible for printing the ballots. Those ballots are unique. So if there's a recount, if those ballots don't line up, I think we're probably going to figure out what's going on with the count. The reason I brought up the experiments is because you think, who would go in and falsify documents for an election? Who would go in and commit fraud? There's some people that are passionate about it. You've seen the video of the guy taking the bag of ballots out and burning them, or the postman dumping the ballot in the garbage. You saw it with your own eyes, so you see that people are capable of it. But how could people be capable of it on such a large scale? That goes back to the Milgram experiment. If you can get people to do what they did to this guy, supposedly in the Milgram experiment, this guy thought he was killing the man. If you can convince them to do that, do you think you could probably convince people, hey, it's okay. You're not going to get caught. We got to get rid of this guy. This guy is going to destroy the world. Everything they said before the last election. This guy's going to destroy the world. So how can you get people to do that? Just convince them, man. We have to do this. We have to do this. People are people. We're all fallible. And I don't know, the 3 or 4 people that listen to this or hear this, if you're one of those people, I'm down here in the South. You'll probably never see this video, but if you do, man, stop. What you're doing is tearing the country apart. For 4 years, they were trying to overturn the last election, with the impeachment, all the leaks, everything that was unproven. And for those of you that are that voted for Trump, you better get loud. You won. But if you give it away, it's on you. How do you do it? Pay attention. Ask questions. Email people. Post things on social media. I told you, they're watching. Remember the cat video? If you saw the laptop from hell, the cat video. They're seeing if you're watching cat videos or if you're paying attention to what's going on right now. If enough people pay attention to what's going on right now, might give them pause to back off. Enough people wake up, they won't be able to do this. But it's ours to give away. Don't give it away. Educate yourself. Get loud. Think of this. Biden got more votes than Obama. Joe Biden got more votes than Obama. He's gotten more votes in any presidential election. You know that's not right. You know it's not right. I wasn't a fan of Obama, but that dude was bringing in the votes. But now that I think about it, it's weird. Especially when you consider this.
Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
So maybe Obama didn't get that many votes. Maybe Joe was right in that. I don't know. We are living in perilous times, but man, these are the most exciting times to be alive. Don't let the fear, don't let anything bring you down. Don't let it silence you. It's designed to silence you. It's designed to bring you down. Don't let it. Keep speaking. Keep speaking. Keep sharing. If you see a post and you're like, hey, this makes sense, let me check it. Go check it. If it checks out, share it. Educate yourself. You can't steal something from someone when that person knows that they own it. And you own this election victory. They can't take it from you unless you give it away. You have the authority. You won the election. Now act like it. One more thing. Trump's fighting for you. Are you fighting for him? I keep thinking of stuff. One more thing. This was their plan all along.
Democrats have made it very clear they plan to put Joe Biden in the White House in January, whether he wins the election or not. Watch.
Joe Biden should not concede under any circumstances, because I think this is going to drag out, and eventually I do believe he will win if we don't give an inch and if we are as focused and relentless as the other side is.